our live session with Colonel Brikrishan today. And today we will be discussing the workplace stress at in the times of COVID. I know कि जो हम जो समय देख रहे हैं, हम दौर से गुजर रहे हैं, वो बहुत desperate times हैं. The times are very difficult. The times are very desperate. हमारे अपने कहीं कहीं कोविड की लड़ाई कर रहे हैं, कोविड से लड़ रहे हैं और कहीं ना कहीं कुछ केयर गिवर्स हैं जो उनको मदद करने में दिन रात लगे हुए हैं. आई नो द सिचुएशन इज नॉट इजी, बट टुगेदर we can survive. We are in this together. I request you through the Just Baat platform, please, if you are battling it out, don't hold it within yourself. Reach out to us. Log in at Just Bath, join our Just Bath. We'll try to help you in the best of our capabilities with our empathetic community that will, if not able to give you any advice, we will be a shoulder that you can rest on. So, on this note, I invite our very dear Colonel Brikrishan today once again with us, and I am deeply honored that he accepted this request and he is here to share his thoughts and give us some helpful ideas how to battle the stress that we are facing in these times of COVID. So welcome Colonel Brikrishan on Dust Bath live session.
Thank you very much, my dear girl. Thank you so much, Kanika. Good to be back with Just Bath. Good to interact with a lot of young people. And today we are talking of something which, honest to God, I would rather not have talked about, for the simple reason that this pandemic for the last 15 odd months, if I remember it correctly, March last year it began and the lockdown phases began in India, so about 15 months. It's changed the whole concept of people's thought processes. It's made people take 2 steps backward and then come up a step forward and then go 2 steps backward again. I don't want to talk about COVID so much in the future because what I have observed now, it spreads a lot of negativity because it's a negative concept. So today, before I take on a few questions that you'll throw at me, Kanika, I just want to make a couple of opening remarks for my young people today, the young students who are listening on. I want to tell you all, friends, don't decide straight away what you want to do tomorrow. Now, this sounds funny. This sounds strange. Let me explain. On the one side, I say I'm an optimist. I'm a person who believes that every person must have a vision, the ability to dream big and dream far. And then suddenly you hear Colonel Sunil Brijkrishan say, don't decide what to do tomorrow. You know why I said that? I'll qualify. As of now, my dear friends, we have absolutely no clue how this particular pandemic or this virus is really going to unfold further, how it is going to play out. We really do not know. And what is happening? Everyone is making their own guesses, their own ideas, their own thoughts, as a result of which a lot of wrong things are making the rounds and people are getting more and more into a shell. What are people doing? One is listening to all the scientific stuff that is doing the rounds. What did the doctors say? What do the scientists say? What do the environmentalists say? What do the economists say? They're all saying a lot of things and they're doing it well with a good purpose. But is this the clear picture? No, it is not. So what is the clear picture, friends? Number one, we really have no idea how things are going to be maybe a couple of months from now. Do you know? Do I know? Nobody knows for sure. How are things going to play out? Some people are saying that this particular virus has already mutated into various other forms, 10, 12 different forms. But the question is, if it has mutated to various forms, will it respond to every vaccine that is there? Now, some of us are very fortunate, ladies and gentlemen, that we have taken the shot. And thank God for all mercies. Only yesterday it was announced that all the little kids in the world, 18 and above, are going to be given this vaccine from the 1st of May. What happens to people below 18? Their turn will come. But the fact is, it's opening out. But the question is, you're getting these 2 shots as of now. How many more vaccines will you require if there are various types of strains or viruses in the air? And how many more vaccines for close to 10 billion people on the earth? Where will you get your vaccine from? When will you get this vaccine? These are not the practical things that are being spoken these days, ladies and gentlemen. All I tell people is we have to wait and watch. The next 30 days, and I'm being honest with you all, for the next 30 days, what do I want you all to do? I know you're working at home. We're talking of COVID and workplace dynamics. I know you're working at home, a majority of you. Some of you have the 50-50% factor working. Alternate days you work and alternate days you're at home. But majority of us in India are spending all 30 days, 365 days at home, working from home with the COVID. My point is, when you're not working actually professionally, what do you need to do? You need to upgrade yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. When I say upgrade yourselves, now please, for God's sake, do not think that I'm talking of upgrading your technical knowledge and upgrading your academics. That is an ongoing process. I want you to upgrade yourselves physically. Your capacity to sustain has to take a jump upwards. You have no option, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be fitter today. You are fit, but you got to be much fitter than what you are today, 30 days from now. In the next 90 days, I want you to follow 4 of my pillars. You know, I was the pillar man. I believe communication stands on 4 pillars. Integrity stands on 4 pillars. And I'll give you qualifying remarks for that. But I believe 30 days, ladies and gentlemen. You have 4 pillars which are going to be 100% you, which means each of the pillars is going to be 25%, 1/4 of you. You got to work on this upgradation. And what do I mean by that? You got to be 25. That's pillar number 1. You got to be 25% fitter than you are now, which means physically. 125% gone. Then you have a second 25%. You have definitely got to be sharper than what you are today mentally. Sharper. Sharper means ability to imbibe faster, ability to see, ability to understand a little quicker than what you are today. That's the second 25%. 50% done. The next 25% upgradation that you need to do is you got to be more balanced. Balanced where? Emotionally. Ladies and gentlemen, emotion is a human psyche. All of us are emotional. When you are happy, you're emotional. When you are sad, you're emotional. When you cry, you're emotional. When you have fear in you, you're emotional. Emotion is a word which normally has a negative connotation. When you say that person is very emotional, you're normally trying to imply that ya to usko gussa jaldi aata hai, ya wo to rondumal hai. Why? I'm a happy-go-lucky man. I keep smiling and laughing all the time. I'm emotional myself. Now I need to balance myself a little more than what I can balance myself emotionally today. Why am I saying this, ladies and gentlemen? Look at the state of affairs around us. Does it mean now everything is finished and we got to get into our shells? No, it does not. You got to take it on the chin, as I say. I always believe jo hona hai wo hoga, but we're not going to invite that hona wala wali cheez. That's the third 25%. Please understand. And the last 25% that I need you to upgrade yourselves is you got to be effervescent, happy, exude happiness. You got to show energy. You know what's happened? Sitting at home all these days, getting mama to eat, get you your food, doing nothing, sitting on your beds, working from home, has sapped energy. There was a time when you went to work, you got up early morning, did your morning chores, wore your lovely dresses, went off to work, felt nice, you were conscious of your body, your language, everything. Today, all that is gone. You are willing to work from home in your pajama kurta, in your nighties. You may like to wash your face and brush your teeth. It's not necessary because nobody knows. What does it do to energy? It saps energy, ladies and gentlemen. So please understand, all my friends, this is motivation for you. Upgradation. You need to upgrade yourself. 100% in 4 pillars. 1, 25% you got to be fitter, which means physically better. The second 25% you got to be sharper, mentally, ability to withstand the not so pleasant. You got to learn this, how to do this. The third 25%, you've got to be more balanced emotionally. Don't go overboard. Keep things under control. And this is only your doing. And the last 25%, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be more energetic. You got to be more happy. You got to be smiling a little more than you normally did. You've got to do it, ladies and gentlemen. All these are very, very vital. And they will be vital when tomorrow, by the grace of God, you step out of your house. Because you will do that. You're not going to stay inside all your life. The lockdowns are there, but the day you step out of the house, you will face a new situation, and I call it the new normal. And you got to be prepared for that, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I want. So stop assuming, ye hoga, wo hoga. I always believe these assumptions are always chaotic. I assumed, sir, arey maine socha tha, arey baba, before you get into a task, you should have already carried out assumptions earlier. You don't assume when you have completed a task, and when the task has not been done well, and somebody says, what the hell have you done? Then you tell him, sir, maine aise socha tha. Arey tha ki baat nahi hoti hai. You should have thought of it earlier. Don't assume. Because if you look at the word assume, A-S-S-U-M-E, and split them into two parts or three parts, A-S-S stroke you stroke me. What happens when you assume all the time? You make an ass out of you and me. It sounds fine, but that's what it is. Don't assume. How can you assume? Do you know how many of us will be around? Do you know how many of us will not be around? How many businesses will have gone fut? How many new businesses would have started? What will be relevant? What will not be relevant? Are you aware of it? There's no clear picture. So by making these assumptions, what are you creating? You're causing yourself to be fearful. Fear is an ugly word, ladies and gentlemen. Fear is an acronym. Fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real. That is fear. It's false evidence. आपने देखा नहीं है, but the mind has already started, thinking, surmising, and then when your mind starts thinking on the negatives, you begin to see negative pictures, and they start appearing real. Fear is nothing but false evidences appearing real. Don't fear, ladies and gentlemen. Why should you fear? You got to be cautious. You got to be careful. You got to follow norms. I'm saying this specifically for COVID and students at home and students at the workplace. How are you going to beat this damn pandemic? Forgive me for using this word. Only by the vaccines? You got to handle yourselves. You got to maintain distance. You got to wear a mask. You got to conform to norms that are laid out. This is what you're supposed to be doing, ladies and gentlemen. This is the only way all of you together can face an unknown situation. I requested Kanika, my wonderful hostess, to give me this 5-7 minutes. I had to make this point across. Ladies and gentlemen, don't start imagining ki wo bachayega, ye bachayega. You got to save yourself. You got to be sure that you're going to survive, succeed, and be a hit tomorrow. For that, you got to work today. Start upgrading yourselves. Mentally, emotionally, energetically, physically. Be happy. That's the only thing. Everywhere there's darkness being spread around. Televisions, the radios, talk, friends. Arey Baba, you take care of yourself. Things will take care of itself. That's all I wanted to say. I hope I have put across a point of view. Kanika, I'm sorry I had to say this because as I was discussing with you a little earlier, I get calls every day from people. Please feel free, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my lovely little kids sitting and hearing this. You have a problem with you, arey kisi ko jaake bolo. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody.
Right.
I tell parents of all my children, you find the little child of yours quiet and sulky and not so mixing around. Don't just leave him to himself. Go and talk to him. Find out what's the problem. You got to move the extra step forward. These are things which have happened in the past, well before our grandfathers were born. We are, well, fortunate that, okay, we were able to see something like this, which we know we will conquer. We are not losers. We are winners. I do not lose to win, nor do I win to lose. I win to win. Somebody might say, sounds so easy for you, sir, to say that. It's got nothing like that. What I'm saying is straight from the gut. Jeena hai, to shan se jiyo. Tell yourself tomorrow is going to be a great day. Kanika, over to you, my dear girl.
Right. Thank you, sir. Actually, we needed that boost of energy that comes through your words. And definitely, sir, we will fight it out together. And as you said, a very, very important point that I would also want to lay stress upon is please talk it out. Please be vocal. Do not hesitate. And sir ने बोला किसी से भी जाके बात करो. Just बात आपके लिए तो आपके साथ सुनने के लिए बैठा है. We are all here to listen to you. Our listeners are here to listen to you. So please don't think कि हम कहाँ जाएं किससे बात करें. You don't have to look for options. Just बात is here. You can talk to us. And thank you for that encouraging words, sir. I hope most of us will find that courage back and that trigger of energy through your words. Thank you so much, sir. And now I
Kanika,
will proceed.
just one little point, beta. You know, I always tell a lot of people, ये जो बोलना है, ये जो भाषणबाजी है, that is all theory. I was a practical soldier. Theory is good. It's good to hear the good things, but you need to amal karo it. You need to make it seen on ground. The cognitive process must be seen. ये बोलने से कुछ नहीं होता है, Kanika. Colonel sir has told me wonderful things. Arey, get up and go. Come on, move. That's what I wanted to say, beta. Yeah.
Right. And those of you who really want to help the society and you feel you can do that bit, I invite you to join us on the as Jasbak listeners, and you can really make a difference. You can actually serve your country by not being on the war front, but fighting a battle with COVID by giving that emotional support to the people who really need it at this point in time. So,
Absolutely.
sir, I will proceed with our first question today, and the first question is. I have been working from home now for almost 1 year. I handle a team of 20, and it has become extremely difficult to make sure that the work assigned is getting done on time. The notifications overload on my WhatsApp sometimes leads to missing out on important messages, leading to a delay in turnaround time. I feel utterly frustrated. Please help me.
Now, whosoever has asked this question, Kanika, my answer to this wonderful person is, if anybody can help him, it is he himself. I'll qualify it. A lot of us have been working from home. Once upon a time, remember, I don't know if it was your session last week or week before that, or so many sessions I do every day in my life. I told everybody working from home was supposed to be luxury when we were not working from home. Today
Right.
we are cursing the fact that we are stuck at home. Now you're working from home, you're working virtual, you're working as a team lead, and I can presume that this young person is handling a group of 20 people and then getting 20 people to, collaborate together, to cooperate together with what the internet can do to you, with what electricity can do to you, with what power failure can do to you. It is not an easy task. So work assigned at times can get delayed. Turnaround times we are talking about, of course, there isn't one place that I have not heard of where the TAT is being met actually. But what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to get a little more forward and say, listen, guys, let's try and do things in a different manner. How? If you've got fixed timings working on, you've got people. Let's try and make it a little more conducive. Let's make it more comfortable. You have a job given to you. You find that no response is coming from one of your 20 members of the team, and you are finding that the work assigned is not getting done. Obviously, not pick up a phone, talk to him. See, it's very simple for me to say, "Aisa karna hai." But this is a fact. What can you do? Can you get out of the comforts of your home? Can you call him up and say, "Look, meet me in a Udupi shop and we'll have a cup of tea and discuss it"? No, you can't do it. So what can you do? You're missing on important messages. Yes, because WhatsApp, but the boss is sending you messages, your colleagues are sending you messages, it's overloaded, it is full. I receive 700 to 800 messages on WhatsApp every day. I don't see all of them because half of them are not worth seeing. So what happens to you when you get overloaded with messages? You start deleting a lot of messages, Kanika. And what gets deleted is also certain important messages. You got to
Right.
prioritize yourself. If you've got WhatsApp getting overloaded, all I can suggest is get hold of another phone, borrow one and put a number on it and keep that as office phone. Arey, kuch to karna padega. You're not going to be besieged by messages only from office. and then say my WhatsApp is overloaded. The WhatsApp has a terrific capacity, but majority of WhatsApp messages are worthless messages which you try to skip and you miss and forwards and it takes time. Why do you want to do that? You have a matlab, you have a meaning, you feel frustrated, take out the frustration not on yourself. There are via medias. Tell people, okay, we will ensure that WhatsApp messages will come at a particular period of time. I'm only trying to envisage what could be problems. Have a separate phone which is only for dedicated for project A. I know people who are doing it, Kanika. The pandemic has also created or made a hole in people's pocket because people who could have done without phones had to buy one. People who had never seen the face of a computer have to do it. You and I can afford it, my dear boy and my dear girl. You can afford it. Just think of people who are from a different strata of society. They can't afford phones, forget laptops, and they got a naukri. They're working, and suddenly they're told now work from home. Oh, bichara computer kahan se lega? So there is frustration. It is going to be there. Don't get it. Let it get the better of you. Prioritize. Make your work right. If there is a little delay, inform the boss. Keep him in the loop. Tell him, sir, I am on the job. I'm trying my best. I'll give you a completion report. Let me try. Keep him in the picture. The problem is a lot of bosses are getting nasty. They're getting annoyed because there's a huge communication gap. And the standard statement is, sir, main kya karoon? Lines dropped, internet dropped. All this is acceptable up to a particular point of time. If you find you can't handle it, tell him, thank you very much, sir, or kisi ko naukri de do, which you are not willing to do. They're not going to give up this naukri. Don't miss out on important messages. Have a backup system. Have a different number. Have a different phone. Get it if you don't have it. Rome was not built in a day. It can be resolved, Kanika. It's not a major issue. That's all I can tell someone.
Right, sir. Very valid point, that you need to pave your way through the solution, and just being frustrated isn't going to help. So I hope you will decide upon how you are going to resolve this problem with some wonderful suggestions given by our dear sir. Okay, sir. So I will proceed with the second question. It's a double whammy as a woman being home. So she is expected to do more and take care of each and everything, while the boss thinks she's at home and can take an extra bit of workload. The personal and professional lines are totally blurred for a woman. Please advise.
Absolutely. Wonderful question, babe. And coming from a lady, oh, I am most empathetic. I believe they are the greatest creatures God ever made. Never been given their due and never been given their right. Yes, I really mean it, Kanika. I really mean it. It's not going back to our mothers and grandmothers who were actual homemakers. It's going back to the wife I live with who's a working woman. It's looking at a young pretty girl like you who's a working girl. It's like the person who has thrown this question saying it's a double whammy. Yes, it's a double blow. एक तो पर्सनल लाइफ का कुछ अता पता नहीं, ऊपर से बॉस का प्रेशर. Come on, my dear friends. You got to be man enough. Now, the man enough word is applicable for the lady as well. Take it metaphorically. You got to be very clear about certain things. Boss is always right. That's the irony of the whole thing. When many a time he is not right. I've always talked to the bosses and I said, listen, it's so easy for you to put pressure on a subordinate. Remember, at some point of time in life, the boss was also a subordinate. Why at some point of time, Kanika, even today, if he's your boss, he's subordinate to his boss. He is under pressure. His boss is under the pressure. His boss's boss's boss is under pressure. And this carries on till you go up to the chairman of the board who is under pressure, possibly by the government of India, by the prime minister. It doesn't end. But you got to draw a line somewhere, and especially if you're a lady handling home and work, and I presume you're a good, well-meaning, conscientious young lady working, you got to tell the boss, sir, I am doing my bit to the best of my ability. I will work absolutely as per norms laid out by me, but I will request you to also empathize with me that I have a personal life at home and a professional life also at home these days. I need a little gap between the two. You know, Kanika, I have had young girls telling me, sir, I walked up to the boss, I picked up the phone, I talked to my boss. I said, what did he do? Fire you? No, sir. He said, "Ye mujhe pehle kyun nahi bataya?"
Right.
What am I trying to say? Go and talk to him. Boss है, हैवान तो नहीं है, वो भी इंसान है. He means well. Just because you're at home, normally your bosses feel that the girls at home, चल जाएगा काम, दे दे इसको और काम. Overload. And this overloading of work is at a cost. The personal life goes for a six, especially if you're a young mother. I am being practical. Even if you're not a young mother, you're a single girl in the house and you're just living with dad and mom. There is pressure on work. घर का काम भी होना है. You're sitting at home. You've got to draw a line. Personal and professional are separate. You got to tell the boss in a very civilized, nice, humble, humane manner, which I know all girls can. They're very good at. Talk to the boss and tell him, sir, I am putting in my bid. थोड़ा सा pressure पर हूँ घर का. Give me a little break. He will. बोलने में कुछ नहीं जाता है. Please understand. I've had the most difficult of people coming and walking up to me and saying, Colonel sir, आपसे बात करनी. ऐसे क्या बात? And then he came and told me his दर्द भरी दास्तान. My soldiering days. I said, अच्छा इतना problem है तेरे को? पहले क्यों नहीं बताया? I never knew that I had put the man under pressure, and he was taking the pressure because he didn't have the guts in him to talk to me. When he talked to me, I brought about a change in my working concept. Please tell the young lady not to worry. If you find that the professional life is also hampering personal life, there are two things that people can always do. Say bye-bye to your naukri. I don't advocate that. I'm the last person to advocate that. Pick up the phone, talk to the boss in his spare mood and say, sir, give me a break. I need a little break. Can I work from here to here? Can I complete this? I will give you a completion report whenever you want it. But my humble request is, I need that little bit of time for my own breathing ability.
Right.
Please try it. It will work, Kanika. It has worked. I see no reason why it will not.
Definitely, sir. And one strong message that goes out with this answer to the bosses as well as to the employees. As much dedication that an employee is giving, it is important that the boss appreciates, adjusts, because
True.
we are all in a turbulent phase, something that no one has ever seen before. So if we join hands and if we, adjust a bit with each other's working environment, I think
Yes.
the road will be a smooth drive to go on, right?
Absolutely.
So
And on this only, Kanika, sorry, my dear girl, to just interject here. You see, till such time you keep taking it, people will keep giving it, giving it, giving it.
right,
You have got to, at some point of time, pick up a phone and talk to someone, clarify
right,
something. हम चुप रहते हैं, मौन व्रत, कुछ नहीं बोलना. Silence is not golden here. Silence is taken as कर लेगी, कर लेगा, दे दे, and that's where you suffer. Yes, ma'am.
yeah, right, sir. So I hope the user who had given this question to us finds the answer and just give it a attempt, talk it out, and maybe you will find a resolution as sir suggested. So, sir, quickly moving on to my next question. Again, it is very related to the question we had just discussed, and it is like the virtual workplace has made it so difficult to interpret the tone of the messages that are being conveyed. My boss once sent me a WhatsApp message which read, the targets are critical this month. Let me know if you and your team will be able to do it. I was worried about losing my job. Later, over a meeting, I realized that my boss was interested in knowing if I needed extra hands with the task that was assigned. So, this communication gap or this interpretation of messages is getting difficult for a lot of people. What is your advice, sir?
Now, Kanika, this question is actually a sequel to the earlier question which you just asked me.
Right,
See
right,
how
sir.
there is miscommunication. Next time, you please let me do a program on communication skills with you, and I'll give you some tips some other time. But now look what has happened here. The boss has picked up the phone and asked this young lady or the gentleman, listen, we are heading into doomsday. Targets are critical. We are under pressure. Are you in a position to handle this job or not? Now, when the boss says it, what is your initial reaction? Your initial reaction is that the sword of Damocles is hanging on your head and he's about to take it off, and you said, find yourself another job. You get
Right.
into a fearful situation, you keep quiet, you say, sir, I'm trying, sir, I will do, sir, I will do something like. Later, you realize that the boss, when he asked you this question, is, let me know if your team is able to do it. He was basically trying to tell you, ज़्यादा लोग तो नहीं चाहिए. Can I help you? Can I take off a little load from you? And you have surmised something else. This
Right.
is where I am saying, Kanika, if the boss were to say this, are you sure you're going to be able to be handle this job? What's wrong in you telling the boss, sir, we are at it. We are doing our best to the best of our ability with the manpower that we have. Yes, if we had a little more hands to help us out, I promise you, I would have given you a completion report well before the actual time. Then the boss will say, "Acha, to kuch logon ki zarurat hai," and then you'll say, "Sir, if you can give me a couple of people more." He said, "Sure, I've got 3, 4 people waiting up my sleeve. Take them. Matter resolved."
Right.
See how quickly you can get things resolved, Kanika. मैं लोगों को बोलता हूँ मुंह तो है ना खोलो तो open it talk to somebody don't surmise don't assume the girl assumed oh my god I might lose my job the man is a good man he means well maybe his body language or the way he spoke to the girl was little more threatening so she said मेरी नौकरी जाएगी so she kept quiet नहीं sir मैं कर लूंगी sir या कर लूंगा sir and that guy kept quiet and later when there was a meeting and he gave her a piece of his mind and said what the hell I had called you up once before. You should have told me you want more manpower. And the girl will suddenly say, or the boy will say, "Arey sir, मेरे से गलती हो गई, मैंने कुछ और सोचा." Stop assumptions. You have a doubt, take it off. No doubt is a stupid doubt. If you have a doubt, it means you genuinely do not have an answer to a problem. What is wrong in asking somebody, Kanika? That's what I keep telling you at the beginning. You find
Right.
people sulking and keeping quiet, talk to them. They may have a problem. Get it out of them. What are bosses for? What are leaders for? I hope I'm able to put it across to the young lady or the gentleman who has asked the question. Baat karo, have a samasya, talk to somebody. Mama and Papa cannot solve your official work. The boss can, your colleagues can. Raise the bar. It will help.
Right. I
Yeah,
also feel, sir, that basically we want to remove that mask that boss is a villain. Not always. Boss is not a villain always. I mean, once we talk it out, so there are always the bridges that can be built. So
yeah,
I hope, our dear user, you have got a bit of experience here that not always what we assume is right. So communication is the key there, as sir rightly
absolutely,
pointed out. Okay, sir. So
absolutely.
the last question in the series, and
Sure.
it is again a COVID related question, sir. It is like I work as a project lead for an IT company, and two of my crucial team members have contracted COVID-19. Though I am worried for their health, but I am also concerned about how will the project get completed. I'm hesitant to talk about it to my boss. After all, it was my responsibility to complete the project on time. Uh, I can't find any replacements soon either. What should I do?
Again, Kanika, I'm so glad we have got three interrelated questions. I gave you a little brief about COVID. You
Right, sir.
tell me, जब तक जान है तब काम होगा ना जब जान
Right,
नहीं है काम कैसे होगा now what is the samasya here two crucial team members are down with covid-19 what does it entail what does it mean it means that they got to be given all the facilities in the world to survive
right,
I'm not exaggerating I do not believe that covid means you are going no covid means maintenance at home maintenance in the hospital now you're worried about their health then you also believe that ये project complete नहीं होगा ना talk to the boss tell him sir two of my members are covid I need help you can't find the replacements probably he will you have to talk to him it is not a small joke I always tell people when you wade into water don't just get into any water thinking hey ankles tak pani hai you might drown
right,
similarly when you dive into a pool ensure that you dive into a 20-foot deep end and not a 2-foot deep end because at both the places you will be a has been you have got to take the bull by the horns. You have a problem. You have a crisis. You have got two important members of your team down with COVID-19. It's not a joke. Even if it is Mamuni COVID, even if it is a quarantine at home COVID, Kanika, those two people may not be able to put in all their energies. They can still work. I have COVID students attending my classes. I have had one COVID student of mine attending a class of mine. It touched me from a hospital bed. So I told him, I said, are you trying to be James Bond? Are you trying to be Dhritarashtra or Duryodhan or Ram? What are you trying to prove? Sincerity is one thing, but sincerity should not be pushed to the limits that it becomes stupidity. You have two people down with COVID, they are crucial team members. You know that the project can get delayed, raise the bar immediately, talk to the boss, say, sir, I am desperate. Two of my people are in hospital or at home or quarantine. The boss also knows. He probably would have already been a victim of COVID. You never can tell. But tell him, see, why are the three questions interrelated, Kanika? Purely because they have all got a connect. मुंह नहीं खोलोगे, बोलोगे नहीं, raise नहीं करोगे बात, you can't find replacement. Then sit at home and then come to the end of the day and the table and say, sir, मेरे से नहीं हुआ. Then you'll get a shoe bill. अरे बात करो ना. Please talk. You have to say this. You're not trying to prove you're a hero. You can be a hero provided you have life in you. I'm not exaggerating, mate. All my friends. जान है तो जहां है. My mother used to tell this to me. That gorgeous lady who created me. जान है तो जहां है. You have life, you will conquer. You have a problem, you have a crisis. This is not a normal crisis, Kanika. It is affected today. God bless us all. If I have it, even asymptomatically, means I am not even showing signs of a COVID. No
Right.
cough, no fever. And I come and put my arm around Kanika. I said, Kanika, my dear girl, let me take you out for a cup of coffee. Kanika gets COVID. It may not affect her otherwise, but it locks her up for 14 days, 7 days.
Right.
हो गई ना छुट्टी. That's why I'm saying it's not a joke. Why did I say in the beginning? Please take precautions. It can happen. If it has to happen to you, it will happen.
Right.
Nothing can prevent. When things have to go wrong, they will go wrong. Murphy said that. You got to beat that wrong by preparing. Be prepared for it. So I would tell this young
Absolutely.
person, you are hesitant to talk about it to your boss. Hesitant for what? Tomorrow, God forbid, something terrible happens to those two patients of yours. Then, aren't you going to rue this all your life? मैंने बात नहीं की, I didn't inquire, I didn't tell the boss, the work is gone. You don't let it happen like this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm an optimist, बाबा. मैं लोगों की जान में जान लगाता. I make the dead come alive, I make the wounded run. But I said, पहले हाथ तो आगे थामो, मेरा हाथ, I've already extended it. You clap with two hands, Kanika. You
Right.
scratch my back and I scratch your back. It's
Right.
not a one-way street. Times are tough. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to, there are no questions after this. So I just want to make one statement before I give back to my dear Kanika. Listen, I'm a practical human being. I have not said anything which is insurmountable. ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता है. अरे क्या नहीं हो सकता है? बात करने में कुछ problem है? Is there a problem in talking to people? Is there a problem in raising the bar, raising the level? Talk to somebody. He is going to tell you tomorrow, अगर ये था, why didn't you tell me this earlier? पहले क्यों नहीं बताया? What kept you from saying it? Take out fear, Baba. Nobody's going to kill you. You are a good, conscientious worker. It will work. Have the courage, have the guts, have the spine, have that desire, have that vision, have that persistence, and you will have the guts to conquer. Remember my pillars of PVPG. I always say this to people. So don't worry. Project lead of an IT company, you have crucial members not fit enough. Tell the boss now, sir, mushkil hai. Crucial people, I need replacements now. Without them, it's not possible. And that's a fact. It's a fact. You're not lying. You're not saying, मेरे बस की बात नहीं. बस की बात नहीं है, sir. He works on Java. I work on Sybase. He's C++. I am on Fortran. They're different languages.
Right.
Please understand. I hope I put that across, Kanika.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely well. And one thought while we were discussing all of this, it came into my mind, and I will share it with my audience, that it's always good to, since the time is so unpredictable, it is good to have a plan B. Sir always says, have a plan B, keep a contingency plan there. If you're working on a
Plan.
crucial project, please have a backup in case, God forbid, you lose out on teams like this. You have something planned. So the times are tough, have a plan B. And we hope that this discussion that we had today with our very dear Colonel Rich Krishna would have helped you to relieve some of your workplace stress. And Just Bath will continue to make efforts to make you feel better, make you feel stress free. But yes, we need to know what is that which is bothering you. So please come and talk it out so that we can together resolve a lot of things. So, sir, I would like you to just, that last ritual that we have. What is your message to the audience today?
Nothing out of this universe. Be positive, stay positive. Avoid the negativity that is being spread around by people who have nothing better to do. There are people who will find fault in anything. There are people who are finding fault in vaccines. There are people who are finding fault in procedures. To find fault is easy. I tell a lot of people, are you here with the solution or are you also part of a problem? My point is, please upgrade yourselves. You've got time, my dear friends. Kanika, my request to all these lovely people, whoever they are, wherever they are, those 4 upgradations: physically fitter, mentally stronger, sharper, emotionally more balanced, and last but not the least, effective, effervescent, energetic. You have it in you, you will conquer. I look forward to hearing good news from all the people who are here. You live only once, ladies and gentlemen. Live life king size. And because I got a pretty damsel on my screen, queen size. Nobody will stop you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for giving us your precious time. Thank you, audience who watched this live session with us. We hope you got some clarity on how to manage your workplace in these times of COVID. And we are available for you. We are here to, listen out to your problems. In case there is anything that you want to share, discuss, and you feel that there is no friend, no parent that you can freely discuss your problems with, Just Bath is here for you. You can join our group on Facebook. It is totally anonymous. It is safe. It is private, and you can find peer insights as well as a opportunity to vent out. And who knows, you can actually find answers to your questions. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are always here to help, and I wish you all a healthy life. Please stay safe. Please be very safe and stay at homes, and try to help people in every possible way that you can. We are all in this together. So have a good night. Please stay safe. Thank you once again, sir. I bid you all
Thank you, Vera.
goodbye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you all. Jai Hind. You take
Jai
care.
Hind.
All the very best.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Jai
Thank
Hind.
you.
Yeah.